Hello and welcome to Dragon Tavern. That's right, me and Dave, the NPCs, are back.
Oh, the NPCs. This Dragon Tavern.
I know, but we still do that as well. I just realised you can't really see my eyes because of the hat, but I love the hat, so I'm not taking it off.
I always take off my hat.
Yeah. It's Jigglypuff.
Let's like both wear Pokemon things.
Yeah, we didn't even coordinate that. That was just kind of happened.
Coordinate? You always wear Pokemon things.
It's true.
So it's just like not really coordination. I just wear a Pokemon thing.
There you match. So welcome along. We're going to be discussing episode 2 of the. I have to take it off because you have to see me. Episode 2 of the wonderful 80s, ridiculously cheesy and so wholesome cartoon Dungeons and Dragons.
All because we got a comment.
That's it. Yeah, someone. Who was it? Should I look it up?
Nah.
No.
Oh yeah, we'll look it up.
We'll look it up and we'll put it here.
We'll cut it.
Yes,
and we're back.
We're back with the power of editing. Zentron.
Pop it up there.
Yeah, thanks for shit throwing in. Thanks for throwing in that comment. You wanted to see us do more of these, so we're doing more of these. I just realised...
And we got things wrong, but, this is just a fun show from before we were born.
So we've actually got the old school 4:3 aspect ratio, back when TVs were square. Oh, it was a simpler time. And, yeah, what are we going to do, like, it's a 30-year-old cartoon. We don't really need to worry about spoilers.
I like it you said back in the day where TVs were square. Now they're rectangle. We've evolved so much.
Yeah, I know. The human development has never ceases to amaze me. What's next? Maybe triangular TVs. We don't know.
I don't think that'll work.
The Pincom, maybe. Patent pending. Anyway, let's get into the episode itself. We'll be checking up little screenshots and stuff. Well, I'm editing this, so I'll be checking
maybe in a clip like we did last time.
Yeah. So you can kind of enjoy the ridiculously, awesomely 80s magic.
So this is episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's called The Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert, it has a beholder in it.
I know. It kept me guessing the whole time.
Really?
I didn't know it was coming. I thought it was actually going to be a vampire battle.
And you know what's clever about the title? Beholders have heaps of eyes.
I know. It's just an eye. It's multiple levels there. We think the writers really know what they're doing in terms of naming episodes.
And upon saying that, one of the first lines they say is that it's like 100 and something degrees, which I converted it. It's like 54 degrees, like our temperature. And I'm just like, you're walking in the sun, and you're complaining about the heat. Yeah. And you're like, in the shade, it's probably around about this. Go in the shade, then.
You're going to get not only exhaustion, but heat stroke, probably some delirium.
Yeah.
Now, the main question that came up for me in this is the Dungeon Master. Now, in this world, they got transported into this world, for those of you who don't know, through a magic ride, and they've entered the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Makes complete sense.
Stands to reason, yeah, of course. And there's the guy called the Dungeon Master, who's this little, wizened old dude, and he essentially gives them their quests.
By this point, they haven't spoken to them for 2 days.
Yeah.
And their only quest is to follow the setting sun. And there's 4 suns.
Yeah.
So, the sun's probably always setting, so they're just like, let's just go that way for 2 days, in the heat, in everything, no question asked, just go.
Also, 4 suns kind of raises some interesting questions in the astrophysics department.
Is it even night?
I don't. Well, no, I'm wondering which of the suns it orbits around, because if you've got multiple giant masses with mass gravity and this small little world, and they're in like a cluster, it's going to have an irregular orbit.
I like you're trying to science a show about a mystical man that's transported young kids into a world full of dragons.
I mean, that's clear. I mean, they can do it with light photons. Surely they'll be able to do it with humans. That totally stands to reason.
It's like someone trying to explain the Force in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, what scientifical thing is the Force?
Well, that is simply just energy being able to... Okay. So, my question is, the little guy called Dungeon Master. Now, as you know, in D&D, if you're the Dungeon Master, you can create and control the world. So, like, the world itself, it was your creation. But there's a Dungeon Master within the world called Dungeon Master, which, by the way, is the least imaginative name ever. It's like calling your players Player 1, Player 2. But is Dungeon Master the guy called Dungeon Master? Did he create the world because he's the Dungeon Master? Or is he an NPC in the world that another god who is the Dungeon Master of that world created as the small Dungeon Master?
Well, considering it pops up anywhere,
yeah,
I think he can control the world.
So he must actually be the guy who's controlled.
But he's also a dick, if that rings true, because he basically told these kids, walk this way for 2 days.
In the sun.
And then after 2 days, like, just
go kill
get this beholder, you can go home.
Also, I'm assuming that they started on a fairly low level, despite the fact that the wizard is so massively OP that he can just pull out anything he wants from this magic hat.
No, he can't.
Yeah, well, you could do
Well, he
stuff
tries to pull out anything he wants. He's like, that didn't work.
But to this episode...
Let's make some light. Here's a cake.
Yeah, like a torch, a flashlight. No, you go with a cake. But like the thing was, he was like, this guy needs a shield. Like Sir John. We'll talk about Sir John. He's like, Sir John needs a shield. He goes, here's a shield.
Let's kind of like
go through
the episode and then we'll get to it.
Right.
So basically, after they kind of walk in this desert thing
For
for 2 days, they come across a large scorpion with eyes.
Yeah.
It's a weird scorpion with eyes.
I'm assuming this is like a first edition monster, because
I don't know scorpions had eyes like that. they were very humanoid eyes. just kind of freaky. Like, just the eyes would scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, roll a con save there.
Yeah. So they start running away from the scorpion, because
Wisdom save.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
They're just running away from monsters. Yeah.
And then we get introduced to Sir John, who's essentially the most rubbish knight ever. You've actually got an interesting theory about Sir John.
He's just another guy who's been trapped in this world, and he's been there for so long. He has a kid, Timothy, and he doesn't want to go back because he's had a kid.
And this
who's the only thing he cares about, because he's scared of everything else, but he cares about his kid, which comes into play later on. It's the one thing that causes him to be brave.
Yeah.
And that's the reason he's trapped in this world just as along with the others.
So essentially he's rolling just bluff continuously, going like, yeah, no, I'm this great white knight, I've killed dragons, rah, rah, rah. And so the party goes, awesome, we've got a scorpion.
Do you think he went to night school? That was
a joke in the episode.
From the episode.
I could hear Dave groan from like 2 floors away, and I was just like, "That's the gag. That's the gag about the night school thing." And it was by the douchebag Eric, the guy who's like.
I don't think he's
an antagonist.
I honestly think he's the most reasonable person, having the most honest reactions to this world. He's just like, let's get the hell out of here. Why are we messing around here? The dungeon master is really messing with things.
We've literally been kidnapped. Let's get home.
Yeah, we've been kidnapped. The dungeon master is kind of a dick for just vanishing and just being very vague. He's the only one saying this, and everyone's like, shut up, Eric.
Yeah, let's hang out here for God knows how long.
And I remember there was a point, it's like, the dungeon master told us to go this way. Why are we doing that? Let's go the other way. And everyone's like, no.
We trust this guy that we just met, who then disappeared on us after kidnapping all of us. It's ridiculous.
Like, you call him douchebag. I think he's very reasonable. He's a rich idiot, though. But,
Yeah. Okay, so they go back to Sir John and say, look, we need help. There's a giant scorpion. Let's kill it. And Sir John's like, crap, I'm not actually good, but I have to.
Well, no, he wants to kill the
beholder, yeah.
Because Sir John kind of vanishes because there's a random blue dragon that comes up, and then they kind of have a little duel, and he's being a coward, and then Sir John kind of goes away, and then these guys have a discussion. Then the dungeon master turns up and goes, "Hey, kill the beholder! You get to go home." It's like, yay!
No, okay, all right. Well, if we get to go home, we'll kill the beholder.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing, this is the first time the party encounters monsters that can restrain them, as he kind of wraps them up and shit. But the question was, how did they defeat the beholder with a flower?
No, you're going too far ahead. We have to skip because there's a lot of weird stuff that happens.
Okay, right.
So Sir John kind of goes away, and then the team kind of get this beholder mission from the dungeon master, and then they're like, all right, we need Sir John because he's a brave knight, because they didn't see him being a coward.
Yeah, they rolled low on their insight.
They were hiding in a little cabin thing on the side. So they're like, all right, well, let's get Sir John to help us out here. But during that entire conversation with the dungeon master and then making the decision, Sir John somehow goes through a mushroom forest, ends up in a town where all of a sudden there's a council, like a town meeting, of them bashing him in front of his son.
Yeah.
In front of his son, calling him a coward and saying, you have to do this, you have to do something brave, otherwise you're kicked out. And he's like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And then he leaves. So this entire thing, they have the party must have had a really long conversation.
Just chilling out.
All of this happened. And plus Sir John went through a mushroom forest inhabited by weird demonic snails. And they still don't call him brave.
It was honestly the weirdest 20 minutes of TV that I think I've ever seen in my life.
Like, Sir John comes back into the forest, and the party kind of go off to the forest to kind of find Sir John. And then they find these weird demonic snails that kind of kidnap them.
Right.
And then the unicorn, is the only one to get away, and then Uni meets up with Sir John and drags him back to save the party.
Again, props for the naming department who is naming the characters. Uni, the unicorn, Sir John.
His name's John in real life. He's just transported to this world. He's stuck there. He's just
tortured by the DM, the dungeon.
And now the only thing that ties him to the world is his son that doesn't actually exist.
And then we find Sir John talks to the main bad guy, Vinga.
Once he's agreed to help the party,
and
once they save them from the snails, they kind of go towards the whole. Then I can't remember. He gets the flower at that point.
He
gets the flower, and they kind of go away, and Sir John kind of gets separated from the party. I can't remember exactly what happens here. Sir John gets the party, and then Avenger comes.
Yeah,
and Avenger, who is the main bad of this entire series, reveals that he's kidnapped his son.
Yeah, that's right.
Sir John's son, and he's in prison. Timothy.
Yeah,
original name.
And the only way that he can get his son back is by luring the party into the lair of the Beholder, seemingly to their deaths,
and to betray the party. Which, to be honest, he's not a coward for doing that. It's his son.
Yeah, he had to do it.
He's completely legitimate, but he's made off to be a bad guy for doing it. This demonic being has kidnapped your son. The one thing you have to do is just lead the party to exactly where they want to go anyway.
You get them back, and and it raises the interesting question of what do you go for? 5 people you've never met before, or your own flesh and blood? And the party actually introduced.
I think the key is that they're going there anyway.
Yeah,
they want to go home.
That's where they want to go.
I'm just going to lead them there, and that's what he does.
It literally just all falls into place for John, really.
Yeah, pretty much. He goes, leads them to the party, to where the Beholder is. Then he's like, gotta go, stuff.
Yeah.
And then
So anyway, the party fights the Beholder, and the most inexplicable thing, I don't know if I was not paying attention or if this just made no sense, but the flower, they show the flower to the Beholder, and it just melts and dies, and that's the end of the combat.
So basically Sir John gets his kid back.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of speed up.
Sorry, I want to just...
I know you just wanted to talk about the flower.
Because it's like, what the hell?
So Sir John goes to Avenger finds him and gives him the son back. Yeah. And he feels real guilty about, betrayed the blah, blah, blah. But he got his son back. And then Avenger goes, ha, ha, ha. And you're a coward, blah, blah, blah.
That's not poor acting. That's literally what it was like.
And the voice actor of Avenger is also Optimus Prime, so you can hear a bit of Optimus Prime in there. So it's like a bad version of Optimus Prime. And then he kind of, Avenger kind of, you're a coward, kind of just further demoralizes it, and then flies away, and then they hear the party fighting the Beholder, and it's like, I gotta go have to... Timothy, his son, is like brave, and he's like runs off, and he's like, I'm gonna go save them too. And then
golden locks
when we next see the party, they're all tangled up by these weird kind of tendrils, and then Sir John comes and gets wrapped up as well, and then for some reason the flower...
He says, use the flower, use the flower! And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe use the magical hat that can summon like powerful weapons and artifacts, but no, sure, use the flower.
I don't understand why they thought the flower.
No, there's no logical reason why you'd go, quick, we're about to die, grab a flower!
Yeah, and plus the Beholder kind of destroyed all living things when he arrived. It was part of the plot. Yeah. So wouldn't we just be able to
kill the flower? So anyway, he shows the flower to the Beholder, and the Beholder goes, oh no, my one weakness, flowers, apparently. And it melts and dies, and that's the end of the encounter.
I don't think it dies, because it melts and kind of at the end of the episode it goes down a crevasse, so I feel like it's going to come back. But it's like...
Now the key part of the...
also that the portal opens up.
Yeah, this is the key part to the episode, I think. The portal opens... And they see their home. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm sure it's not a 2-episode series, but still, go through the
And obviously John didn't want to go for my theory because he's got a son. It's the only thing he cares about.
Yeah. So the party goes, oh sweet, we're going home, awesome, done. And they run towards the portal. And then...
Sir John's going like, I'm gonna die.
And they go, let's go save him. Instead of going home to our actual universe...
At first, it's the little boy, I think... Billy or whatever.
Yeah, Billy, the son of the... the brother.
The brother, who's like, Uni can't come with us.
Yeah,
it's
let's stay here
You've known Uni for literally like an episode.
Your entire life, friends and family, and your world is on this other side of this door, and but there's this creature that...
And all the convoluted plot points they're given, they never consider the possibility they have to leave Uni behind.
No, they could have just taken him through.
And they're so... Like, the last episode, when they climbed up to the mystical castle, they're fine leaving Uni behind. It's like, stay there.
You can't climb, fine, fuck off.
Yeah.
But then now it's like, let's risk our entire world and possibly the only chance we have of ever getting home.
And that's where the Cavalier's making complete sense. It's like,
no, what are you doing? I'm going home.
And then he's like, I can't because of guilt.
These people,
and he's smart. He's like, would you rescue your friends or would you just like go home? He's like, rescue my friends.
And yet somehow they decide through logical reasoning and processes
to save Sir John.
Yeah.
And then they save him, and there's like a hero moment, and they learn a lesson of not going home.
Yeah, so now they're back in the world for God knows how long.
And the Dungeon Master's just laughing.
Yes.
At the end, he's like,
he literally does like an evil, weird laugh, and it's like, you evil, sadistic bastard.
This whole world, the Dungeon Master does control the world because he's
Yeah.
just messing with everyone.
The last bits of my notes are just all in caps. Guys, you are literally on the edge of going home. Do you really care more about some guy called John than your family, friends, and the entire world? My God, it was a great 20 minutes of TV. It made no sense. But it was great.
It's just so funny their reasoning for doing certain things.
Yeah.
It's like,
So all this stuff is on YouTube if you guys want to go back and watch the episode yourself, which I recommend you do.
We'll put it in a link below of episode 2.
Yeah.
If you do want to watch another episode of us doing episode 3, which I have no idea what's going to... We're not going to pre-watch them.
No, we're only going to watch them if you guys comment and ask for us to do them.
Yeah, and then we'll do another one, and to be honest, it's actually a lot of fun, kind of funny. Thinking it from... obviously, this was made for kids back before we were even born.
Probably to promote Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly, and it's not supposed to be overly analysed.
It's not Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, Doctor Who can be overanalyzed.
Well, the timelines are actually quite well done.
Well, that's debatable. How much do you know? I've got Doctor Who merchandise.
I know.
Yeah.
I watched it every
Let's
night.
not get into Doctor Who, alright.
Okay, next Dragon Tavern, we talk about Doctor Who.
But yeah, it's very kind of... It's a fun show to watch.
Yeah.
It's a fun little laugh, and you can overtly dissect it, but you can also get a lot of inspiration from it.
Absolutely.
Having a very obscure way of defeating a boss is actually quite interesting.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. So
have to make sense of the party discovering that.
Yeah, so as a DM, you can take tips and stuff. You can get ideas. As a party, make sure that if someone offers you a flower, take it, because that could be the key to
it's like coming across a dragon, and then the party wipes, and the Dungeon Master's like, yeah, you just had to throw a shoe at it. It's like, you gave no hint, they had to throw a shoe at it.
Yeah, all it was, we had to sing like Come Quietly by the Kinks, and then you would have killed it.
Or Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I know, you have been playing it before we filmed this. And singing it.
Anyway, that's it for today, for Dragon Tavern. Before we go any closer into my personal life, and thanks for watching. Comment down below if what you want to see for the next Dragon Tavern. Essentially, it's just
played
us.
Carly Rae Jepsen right after as well.
It was actually kind of embarrassing.
He really likes you.
I forgot my door was open. So
you don't even need to have your door open. I hear it.
No, but I was doing this as well.
Party in the USA.
Anyway, if you have any suggestions for the next Dragon Tavern, essentially it's open to anything D&D or even tabletop, really.
Yeah, we want to explore the Dragon Tavern is really for us to dive into different aspects. The TV show is a nice little classic one, and it also shows how much D&D is evolved. There's also a lot of games out there, and pretty much this is you put a comment down there of what you want us to do.
We'll do it.
Yeah, that's
most
pretty much
of the time.
How desperate we are.
So thanks for joining us on Dragon Tavern. Keep your eyes on this channel because the live streams that we do of the 2 games that I run, one of which he is a player in, start up again in January, which I'm so excited for. I've been writing non-stop for the new story arc. I'm really putting 100% of my creative power behind it, and I think it's going to be really, really great.
Which is about like 2%.
Wow.
In a normal person.
Yeah. Thank you guys for supporting.
You're very bad at ripping me back. Rip me back once in a while, because then I just feel bad.
So this is the long con, I slowly wear you down. Anyway, check out the rest of our content, and if you liked our videos, I feel such a YouTuber saying this, but like and subscribe, because it makes us happy, and we're only 1 subscriber away from hitting 200, and when that happens, we release a very special video of all the gags that we do at the start of the NPCs of Taldores.
Don't know whether that's a good or the bad thing,
but we're doing it anyway. I've got them all on the computer ready to go, we're just waiting to hit 200 before I edit them. But thanks very much, enjoy the rest of your day.
Now.
I'm going to.
Are you assuming we'll never get there?
No, I am gonna edit it. I was just giving incentive to...
Bye!
Bye.